Okay, so uh, I think last week we talked about Dhritarashtra, Kunti, Gandhari, Sanjaya, and Vidura going into the forest. How they perform the last rites. They get to see all the warriors that died on the battlefield with the help of Ved Vyasa. Those warriors all spend the night with their families, and the next morning, Ved Vyasa then gives the ladies the option to follow their husbands, go into the river Ganga and follow their husbands. Some of them take up, some of them don't. Uh, then after that, we discussed how uh, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Kunti pass away. Before that, I think we discussed how Vidura passes away in front of Yudhishthira. Now, after this event, a few years go by, and the scene takes us to Dwaraka, where we describe the scene to be quite obnoxious. The people don't have enough respect for each other. They're drunk, uh, they're fighting, and this is all culminating to an internal conflict which kills all the Yadavas, Vrishnis, Andakas, all of them that were under the protection of Krishna. Uh, the way it starts is with Samba, who's Krishna's son. He's dressed up as a woman, and he goes to the sages Vishwamitra, Narada, and other rishis that come there, telling them that he's pregnant. Even his friends telling them that he's pregnant, and then they curse him, saying he has a mace that will destroy the Yadava dynasty. Next day, he's born with. He gives birth to a mace. The king at the time is quite scared, so he says, "Grind it and throw it into the ocean." They do that. The ocean throws that ground mace back onto the beach, and there's grass that grows on the beach. Krishna takes all the Yadavas one day to the beach as a pilgrimage. There, Satyaki is drunk. He fights with Kritavarma, kills him, abusing him about for doing the wrong things in the Mahabharata war. Pradyumna takes Satyaki's side, but both of them are then overpowered by supporters of Kritavarma. All of them are killed. Here, the others then start fighting with each other. Kritavarma gang versus Satyaki supporters. So all like this, all the Yadavas are getting killed one after another. The grass they pull out turns into maces, and they use that to kill each other. So the curse is coming true. There is one small piece, however, that goes into a fish, and that actually comes back, and it when the when fisherman gets the fish out, one of the hunter manages to get that piece, and he uses it for his arrow tip. We'll come back to that a little later. But I think we ended up where Balrama decides he doesn't want to do anything with uh, the earth anymore. He goes and starts doing meditation. Very soon, there is a thousand-headed snake that comes out of his mouth. This is basically Lord Vishnu's uh, bed in Vaikuntha. So that snake goes into the ocean, and it's greeted by all the Nagas. I think we ended the last class there. So what happens next? Krishna wants to save all the ladies. So he sends Daruka, one of his charioteers and his advisor, to go and get Arjuna to save all of them. Okay. In the meantime, he goes into Dwaraka, and he tries to console the ladies, and he uh, tries to protect them, and he tells the king over there, everyone over there, that he has to go back into the forest, and he's going to take sannyasa himself. Arjuna will come and take care of everyone over here, and that Dwaraka is going to be submerged underwater very soon. So now here Arjuna, Yudhishthira and others, when they come to know what's going on in Dwaraka, they're quite shocked. Arjuna immediately leaves and he comes for the Dwaraka with Daruka. Arjuna then starts, as soon as he comes into the palace, he sees Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Krishna's father. They have a conversation about what happened, how it transpired, how Krishna then left. Here, Rukmini, Satyabhama, they're also devastated. They don't know what's going on. Arjuna himself is quite shaken by the turn of events. And then he decides to go in search of Krishna. He tells Vasudeva, I know we've been told that that Dwaraka is going to be submerged and I am meant to save all the ladies and whoever else is alive here, but I have to go and find Krishna first because he is my beloved. Arjuna is very attached to Krishna, so that's why he's still going looking for him. So he goes around for a few days, he goes looking around everywhere, and then there's Daruka and a few other people with him. Daruka and others, they say, look, it's almost time for Dwaraka to be submerged, we have to get back. Arjuna says, just give me one more day. Anyway, so Arjuna finally finds Krishna on the floor, dead. Now, this is what happens to Krishna. When he is in the forest, okay, he's lying down with his foot, 1 foot over the knee that is, the right foot over the left knee. A hunter by the name Jara, he has that arrow with the tip of that little piece of the mace that's left over. He sees the foot and he thinks it's a bird, and he shoots an arrow and it hits the bottom of the foot. Okay, and he comes running thinking he's got the bird. There he sees Lord Krishna and he is mortified, he's shocked, he's very scared. Then Lord Krishna tells him, don't worry about this. This was meant to happen. It's time for me to leave this leave this earthly body and go back to Vaikuntha. So that way even the hunter is blessed and he also goes to heaven. That's how Krishna dies. So Arjuna here now finds Balrama and Krishna and he performs the last rites and comes back to Dwaraka. He assembles everyone and he gives them instructions that they have to follow him back towards Hastinapur. Okay, he's on the chariot and they're going through a forest. All of them. There's women. Oh, sorry. By the way, I forgot. Krishna, when Arjuna comes back after performing the last rites, the next morning when they have to leave, Vasudeva dies. Krishna's father. He dies. And Arjuna now performs his last rites. But when his last rites are performed, he has 4 wives who also join him in the fire. They just walk into the fire and they kill themselves. They don't want to live in the world without Vasudeva. I forgot about that. Anyway, then Rukmini, Satyabhama don't know that Krishna is still dead. They are going with Arjuna into the forest. Here in the forest, what happens is they are attacked by bandits. Arjuna, the great warrior, he says, I'm Arjuna. He claims, I'm Arjuna. I will destroy you guys. You better leave. Don't stay here anymore. He's basically threatening the bandits that come there. But when they don't listen to him, he picks up his Gandiva. He's finding it heavy. He tries to string it. String it means there's one string on the other end. The other end is not strung yet. So he's struggling to do it. Something in his youth he did very easily. Now he's struggling to string the bow. He finally does it with a great difficulty, and he starts trying to invoke astras. None of his astras are working. He's forgotten the mantras. He's not able to recollect any of the hymns for the or mantras for the astras. So he's now fighting just like a hunter with a bow and arrow. That's it. That's all. Here the bandits overpower the women, the some of the soldiers over there. There are a few other youngsters like Krishna's nephew, etc. Satyaki's son. They they do what they can to fight, but there's so many bandits that they're not able to resist them. They're not able to fight all of them. A lot of the women, uh, they just are carried away by these bandits, including all the jewelry, all the wealth that they're taking to Hastinapur. That's taken away. Some women have lost all their husbands and all that. They just decide to go with the bandits themselves willingly. So that's the state right now. Arjuna feels so guilty. He cannot save the women. He cannot save the children. He cannot protect the wealth. He's devastated. Whoever is left after all of that, he takes them towards Hastinapur. There on the surrounds of Hastinapur, there are other smaller kingdoms that belong to Yudhishthira's empire. He initiates uh, or he actually instills uh, I don't know, he coronates some of the youngsters like Krishna's nephew, Satyaki's son, etc. on some of those kingdoms, and then from there he straight goes to Vedvyasa. Okay, and he's crying in front of Vedvyasa. He's saying, "I don't know what to do. Krishna is dead. Uh, uh, I was not able to use my astras. I need your advice." Here, Rukmini, Satyabhama, his other wives, they all are with him and they hear what's happened. That's when they know that Krishna is dead. So immediately, Rukmini, Jamvati, and another wife of Krishna's, they decide to uh, light a fire and go into it. Whereas Satyabhama and a couple of others, they decide to go into the forest and become sannyasins. Here, Vedvyasa is now starting to advise Arjuna and tell him, look, it was time for Arjuna to leave. Now it is also time for you to leave, not just them. So he goes to Yudhishthira and tells everything that happened. Yudhishthira is shocked. The Pandavas are shocked. Till then, they don't know what's happened. They're all in grave shock. Then Yudhishthira tells, you are right, Arjuna. It is time for us to leave. So Yudhishthira tells, I decided I am leaving. If you guys want to join me, please do. So the way they do it is they decide to go on a pilgrimage till they die. They don't want to stop anywhere. And before they go, they have to announce it to the public. The public don't want them to leave. It reminds them of when they were first going into forest after losing the dice game. Okay, the entire countryside is trying to stop them from going. He has to convince them. Then Yudhishthira also has to uh, coronate somebody. So he coronates Parikshit, who's Arjuna's grandson, Abhimanyu's son, as a king, and Yuyutsu, who's Duryodhana's brother. He's there as an advisor, as the guardian to Parikshit. And they have other responsibilities that they have to cater to. They do that. They perform the one last set of rites for all the warriors, everyone that's passed away since they were born, all the elders, etc. And they start moving from place to place. They visit a number of pilgrimage sites. They also go and visit Dwaraka, where they see that Dwaraka is completely submerged underwater. Then they start heading north. There is one thing that is very strange. From the time they leave Hastinapur, there is a dog that follows them everywhere they go. Okay, Yudhishthira is at the front, then Bhima, then Arjuna, then Nakula, Sahadeva, and Draupadi is at the very back. And they go towards the north, towards the Himalayas. Now, Yudhishthira says, let's go towards Mount Meru. So they're going towards Mount Meru, and then at one stage, Draupadi falls down. Yudhishthira doesn't even turn back. He doesn't even turn back. Okay, she falls down and she dies on the floor. There and there she dies. Bhima looks around and he's shocked. He has this affection for Draupadi. He can't comprehend what's going on. So he immediately asks Yudhishthira, Draupadi is so pure. Why did she have to fall and die? Why can't she continue with us? Yudhishthira does not turn back. He just says, Draupadi has a flaw. All right. Arjuna won her in the Swayamvara. So she has more affection for Arjuna than any of us. That is her flaw. That is why she's fallen down. She died. Then as they move on, Sahadeva falls down. Then Bhima asks Yudhishthira again, why did Sahadeva fall down? Sahadeva died. Then Yudhishthira tells, look, Sahadeva, he thought he was the most intelligent man on the earth. That was his downfall. That is why he died. They keep going. A little distance away, Nakula falls down. And then he dies. Bhima asks, what about Nakula? He's also always looked after your interests. He's followed Dharma. Why is he down? Then Yudhishthira tells, yes, you're right. But Nakula had one flaw. He thought he was the most handsome man in the entire world. That was his flaw. And they keep going. Next, Arjuna falls down and dies. Then Bhima is shocked. He says, Arjuna was the one who followed Dharma. He stopped me from doing a few things that I shouldn't have done. Why did he fall down? Then Yudhishthira tells him, Arjuna had a little bit of pride about his archery skills. He thought he was the best archer, and that is why one day he pledged that he would destroy the entire Kaurava army in one day, just before the battle. But he did not fulfill that pledge. That is why he had to die. So now it's just Yudhishthira, Bhima, and the dog. They keep going. Bhima falls down, and while he's falling down, he's dying. He asks Yudhishthira, why am I falling? Why am I dying? Then Yudhishthira tells, you are a glutton. You don't think about anyone around you when you're eating food. It is all about your food. That's it. Okay? And that was it. Bhima dies, and it's now just Yudhishthira and the dog. They continue. They reach Mount Meru. When they reach Mount Meru, the top of the mountain, their celestial chariots, the Devas, come to visit Yudhishthira. And they tell Yudhishthira, all right, let's go. Come, let's go to heaven. You are the only one who deserves to go to heaven with your body. Then Yudhishthira says, I can't leave my brothers and my wife over here and go. You guys carry on. So then Indra tells, your brothers and Draupadi, they have gone to heaven. They can't go with their human body. You are the only one who's worth going to Swargaloka in your human body. Now, I'll quickly give you an understanding of the Hindu philosophy of heaven. All right. So, most of you might know that there is earth, there's heaven, there's hell. And that's traditional of the Western religions. Whereas in Hinduism, we have the concept of rebirth. So for us, even heaven is a temporary refuge. We have to come back to earth for our rebirth. So those who have done a lot of good karma, they use up that karma when they go to heaven. So Yudhishthira has done a lot of, he's only done good. Okay. So he goes with his body Indra takes him to Swargaloka. Now, he wants to take Yudhishthira to Swargaloka. So when he tells, okay, now that your brothers, now that you know, Indra tells, now that you know your brothers are in heaven, your Draupadi is heaven, why don't you come with me? Okay. Just one small correction. We say Swargaloka. Its literal translation is not heaven. It's people use it as heaven. So I continue using that for now. Yudhishthira tells, okay, I can come, but the dog also needs to come with me. Indra says, no, the dog can't come with you. The heaven is no place for dogs. Then Yudhishthira tells, look at it this way. The dog has followed us all the way from Hastinapur, right? It is still alive. There must be something the dog has done for it to be still alive on Mount Meru with me. If you don't take the dog and go, I'm not coming. That's what he tells Indra. Immediately the dog changes form. It is Dharmaraja. Yama Dharmaraja, Yama, god of death, his own father. He says, I was just testing you like I tested you back as a Yaksha with Yaksha Prashna. I was just testing you to see how you interpret Dharma here. Now, Yudhishthira is happy. He goes in the chariot with Indra and the other devatas to heaven. In heaven, there's a grand welcome, but he sees Duryodhana there. And he doesn't know why Duryodhana is there. He asks the question, why is Duryodhana here? He is the reason all the Kshatriyas were destroyed on the planet. Why is he here? I want to see my brothers. I want to see Draupadi. So then Indra's messengers, Dharmaraja, Yama Dharmaraja, who's with him, he says, look, for now, I can't take you to see your brothers. I want you to enjoy the pleasures of this heaven. Go and start seeing the other devas, rishis, all these other people. Stay here. Enjoy your fruits here. Yudhishthira says, no, I want to see my brothers and I want to see Draupadi. He also notices that Satyaki is not there, Kritavarma is not there, Karna is not there. He says, where's my brother Karna? Okay, I want to see Karna. He's also not here. So then Dharmaraja says, I will take you there, or my messenger will take you there. But it is a long way away from here. Anytime you want to come back, just let him know and you'll come back. But you can't go back again. So Yudhishthira says, okay, and he starts following the messenger. As they start walking in one direction, the entire pathway starts changing the scene. Once where it was bright, once where there were colors, once there were sweet smells, there were fragrances, there were devatas and all that. As he starts walking, he starts seeing all of that fading away. He starts going through a path where there's blood on the floor, there's flesh, there's vultures, there's pus on the trees. It's horrible. The description is really bad. Okay, it's disgusting, some of the description. But he has to walk through all of that, pungent smells, etc. They walk for a very long distance and Yudhishthira is tired. So the messenger says, if you want, we can go back from here. Yudhishthira is not sure. He's thinking whether he should go back or whether he should stay. Just then he starts hearing voices. Starts hearing voices of Draupadi, of Kritavarma, of Karna, of Arjuna, Nakula, Sadeva. They're all screaming. They say, don't go from here. Here the heat is unbearable, the smell is unbearable. Where we are, it is unbearable. Now that you are here, you are the pious one who's here. You are here. It is a little calm for us. The messenger says, this is hell. You need to go back to Swargaloka. He starts telling Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira tells, how can Duryodhana be there and Karna and my brothers and all over here? I'm not going to leave my brothers. I'm not going to leave Draupadi. I'm not going to leave Karna. I'm not going to leave Satyaki over here. I'm going to stay with them. So no matter what the messenger says, he does not listen. So the messenger goes back and he tells Yamadharmaraya what's happened. Then Indra, Dharmaraya, everyone come and see Yudhishthira. And Dharmaraya tells Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira, don't worry about what you see. And he immediately changes the whole scene over there. It was just a maya, it was just an illusion. Okay? And then Yamat tells Yudhishthira, your brothers, Draupadi, Karna, Satyaki, everyone that you know that were not in heaven are in heaven. You just couldn't see them for now. We had to get you to hell before we took you to heaven. And the reason for that is every king, no matter who it is, every king has to see hell because they have to make decisions sometimes that are not very popular, sometimes that are not right. But that's not the case with you. The reason you had to see hell was because you deceitfully uh, uh, got Drona killed. He said, had you said the words what Krishna said, for instance, Ashwatthama is dead, that would have been fine. But you said Ashwatthama is dead, and in a soft voice you said Ashwatthama the elephant. That became deceit. And for that, for a short while, you had to see hell. And now he's brought back to heaven. When he comes back, he sees Arjuna, he's praying to Lord Vishnu. He sees Draupadi, who's garlanded with beautiful roses and other flowers, sweet scents and all, and she's with Sachi Indra's wife. Then he sees Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhima. They're all with the Devtas. He sees Karna sitting with Surya. He sees Nakula and Sahadeva with Ashwins. He sees all the other warriors over there. Bhishma with Vasus. He sees Dhritarashtra with the Gandharvas. He sees all of them. Okay? And then Dharmaja says, you come and sit with me. And that's how time passes in heaven. Eventually, what happens is all of these people, for instance, Yudhishthira, he is Yamadharmaraya's essence. So when he's enjoyed the karma benefits of his karma, he joins, or his energy goes back into Yamadharmaraya. Arjuna's goes back into Vishnu. Bhima's goes back into Vayu. The Ashwin twins, their energy goes back into Ashwin. Bhishma becomes a Vasu. Dhritarashtra becomes the king of the Gandharvas again, and so on and so forth. So that is where all the warriors who have descended from the Devas have gone back and merged with the Devtas themselves, Devtas, Gandharvas, whoever.